AITA if I expose my mom's money problems to my dad after she spent my tuition? Hi, this is my first post, so sorry if it's a bit messy. I, 20F, have always supported my mom, 43F, even financially, and I usually try to understand her side. My dad, 44M, works overseas and sends money twice a month for groceries, bills, and school. He usually sends it to my mom, who then distributes it. Earlier this month, my dad came home after working abroad for 6 months. He had all our expenses mapped out, including my tuition since I'm an incoming second-year aeronautical engineering student, which is really expensive where I live. He gave my mom around $1,000 for my enrollment fee, and that is like 60% of the whole tuition fee. What my dad didn't know was that I still had a $350 balance from my previous semester. My mom used part of the $1,000 for that balance, and I agreed not to tell my dad because I trusted she'd figure out a way to cover the rest. Fast forward to last week, I finished my documents, reserved my enrollment, and was waiting for the tuition payment. That's when I found out my mom had already used the remaining money for reasons she won't explain. She's been trying to recoup it, but nothing has come through. Prior to that, she told me she'll never touch my enrollment money since it'll be hard to recover. Today is the last day of late enrollment. If my tuition isn't paid by 6 p.m., I lose my slot. I've already missed 2 weeks of classes, including major and lab subjects, and I completely broke down. I told my mom I'm tired of always having to compromise because she borrows or misuses money. I told her if this continues, I'll have no choice but to tell my dad everything, not just about my tuition, but also about her gambling and borrowing habits I've helped cover up for years. The problem is, if I tell him, my parents will have a huge fight and he'll never trust her with money again. But I'm exhausted, and now my education is on the line. AITA if I finally tell my dad the truth? Edit. My mom threatened me by saying if I tell my dad, there would be a huge fight and they might separate. And that dad won't want to see mom again. Edit 2. Another edit for y'all. Dad was doing his medical earlier and contract signing, hence why I wasn't able to tell him, didn't want to talk about it on the phone. The moment he got home, I immediately told him about the situation, and while he was not mad at me, I could sense his disappointment, which I understand. I explained the whole situation, and after that, he went to confront my mom via call, since we're in the city and my mom is at our hometown. After a bit of grilling, mom eventually confessed that aside from using the money to pay back the money she owed other people, she did use some for gambling in hopes of having a higher return, which unfortunately did not happen. They had a talk about it. I could sense that dad was holding back, and dad is now requesting a list of all the people she owed and how much, though she has yet to reply. Dad also managed to find a way to get the funds for my enrollment. Fortunately, it didn't become a reason for them to separate, though he has told me that he'd be sending the money directly to us, my siblings and I, from now on, especially our allowances. I have no idea regarding the bills and groceries. Anyway, thank you all so much for your insights, as it helped me make the right choice, which I did, and hopefully it helps mom to overcome her gambling and tendency to borrow from other people. I'd be reporting to school tomorrow and appeal if they could still slip me in an available slot, and will update. Update. Hello again, and I do apologize if it took a while for the update. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for their responses, as it helped me see that my mom's behavior should have never been allowed to continue. I fully accept the criticisms about me, and I know my wrongdoings. Second, I told my dad about the situation, and while he was mad at first for me not telling him earlier, well, not the angry type but disappointed type, he managed to find a way to secure the funds for my tuition fee. I also managed to get enrolled just this Saturday, though I missed 2 weeks' worth of lessons as well as an assessment. I spent the following days sending emails to my professors so I could catch up. Dad had a bit of talk with mom through a video call, since mom is currently in our hometown while my dad and I are in the city. I study in the city while my dad was here for his documents and medical. He pressed on questioning her until it was revealed that she gambled the money in hopes of getting a high return to pay the money she owes to various people, as well as return the money that was supposed for my education. Now, some of you might be wondering why my dad would finance my college. I am actually from the Philippines, so culture here is a bit different, as there would be parents who would work so they can send their kids to college, and my dad happens to be one of those. Anyway, I also told dad about the money she owed to my friends as well, and he found himself questioning why mom would borrow money when he would send most of his salary to us, which is admittedly more than enough if there had been no loans to pay. Since then, however, my younger sister told me that mom seemed down. Like she has no fight left in her and gave up completely. She was unusually quiet too. I have no idea what else is happening, since she hasn't talked to me or dad ever since. I did send a message to my mom explaining why I did what I did, and I do ask about her to my siblings since she had deactivated her account. Hopefully, when she comes here to the city to switch with my dad, who will then look after my siblings before he has to work again, we can at least bring back some of that bond we had before the entire fiasco happened. Once again, thank you all so much for the kind and warm reception toward my dilemma, and I hope that none of you will go through what I experienced.